it from the losers finals, and we are going to jump in to this fresh best of 5.
Yep.
Right out of the gates, Ball Jugglers versus ABC. Definitely keep your eyes on Leeksy, this insane Fire Mage.
Yeah, if Ball Jugglers do win this is just going to be such a great story because the WoW community, of course, we say that the meta changes quite slowly, especially when there aren't too many patches. But Ball Jugglers really have been setting the standard. They've been setting an example that I'd love other teams to follow. They just try these things. I mean, it's so easy to say RMD is the best, and it probably still is. I think ABC could work out a way of figuring out this composition, but every single time ABC work out Ball Jugglers just throw something new at them, and it's just so refreshing to see. It allows them to play into the mistakes of ABC, although I think ABC are actually playing this series quite well, and we'll see how they can deal in this new series if they've thought of any new strategies. Zeepai had to trade out that Shamrage and the Trinket in the opener. This is actually a pretty bad opener for Ball Jugglers. Fnobus has his Trinket, but that's pretty much it. The Smoke Bomb comes out. Zeepai might just go down instantly, 10% HP, and I eat my words, ABC win.
Yeah, ABC going to convincingly take a win.
Oh, I really hope ABC don't win 3-0 now. That's going to be so bad for me. Oh, I just spent so long talking about how nice it was that Ball Jugglers. Well, I don't think they'll lose like that.
You guys can't see Healing Stat's face right now, but it is kind of hilarious. He's looking pretty demoralized. But one of the things is that with Ball Jugglers, right, they don't necessarily need to create the hard counter for RMD, because we're going into Legion very soon. So,
that's very true.
So you don't need to actually solve the problem of RMD. Yeah, you just need to shake it up just
as much as perhaps some of the other members. But they're just making such a great name for themselves. And when you do see them in these tournaments, they're just so successful every single time. They're going to stick to that Elemental Mage, the Fire Mage from Leeksy. Clearly, they think the smaller map, Dalaran, definitely the best map for those Dragon's Breaths.
And before we do see the opener, I just want to point out, if you are just watching Ball Jugglers for the first time and you really enjoy watching them, they are guaranteed a spot into the regional, so you're going to get to watch a lot more of them. So stay tuned for that, but we're going to have to see if they can manage to take first place in this new best of 5 that they have reset.
Yep, you're going to be able to put a face to the name when you see them on LAN in a month's time, roughly. But we'll have to wait for that a little bit, see who wins this grand final, who gets that number 3 seed. Zeepai having to trade out that Shamanistic Rage. Once again, he's dropping low again. ABC, they just don't settle for that Shamanistic Rage. They just want to go all in, and Zeepai again, down to 20%. The NS does come out from Fnobus. He should Trinket this blind, I think. He doesn't have NS. He will have the Iron back afterwards. It looks like Zeepai just healing himself behind the pillar, despite Nixie being on him. The Bash from Askraf. They're trying to follow up the CC chain. Can they follow up with the Polymoth? Doesn't look like it. DR Deep Freeze. Actually, Daisy Duke with that Everness still unable to land the CC there.
Has ABC solved this? Have they solved the question that none of the other RMDs could actually figure out? Have they found a way to bring down the Ball Jugglers now that they've moved into the second best of 5? Because Zeepai has not looked comfortable at all during this game.
Yeah, I completely agree, and he didn't look comfortable at all last game. They just did not top him off. He's actually pretty okay right now. He does have that Shamanistic Rage available. There's still a Trinket on Fnobus. So the question is, it looks like Ball Jugglers, if they do stabilize from this opener, it's quite a big deal. And actually, Askraf does not have his Trinket available. He's in a lot of trouble. The defensive Smoke Bomb comes out. I'd love to see Leeksy maybe snap for a second Dragon's Breath. He might go for it. The Blazing Speed, there is that Snap Dragon's Breath. A lot of trouble for Askraf. The Buckskin comes out really late. He blinks away, down to 10% HP. He is going to be fine now. Zeepai needs to be a little careful. He does have the Sham Rage. Fnobus just going to NS and make sure he's topped off for now.
Yeah, I really did like the fact that ABC, even in the wake of their healer just getting absolutely punched in the face, they do see that a window opens up onto Zeepai, but now Daisy Duke getting so low.
Yep, having to use this Everness defensively. That's going to make it really difficult for him to land CC onto Fnobus in the near future. He doesn't have that Cold Snap either, so 0 Evernesses for 45 seconds. He is caught up in the Hex for now, just trying to build up that damage, spamming out the Frost Bolts. Iron Bark comes out preemptively onto Zeepai, so well played by Fnobus. Once again, we've seen this time and time again. ABC with the triple CC though, so they are going to try cut through that cooldown. Shamanistic Rage is available for Zeepai should he need to use it. DR Sap comes out from Nixie, well played by him, good vanish. Will they be able to follow up the Cyclone? Doesn't look like it. Askraf getting locked out, caught into that Dragon's Breath now, having to Iron Bark himself. He blinked in here, he's in a lot of trouble. The Bash comes out, he trinkets out of that one. He doesn't have his mobility cooldown, NS's himself up to 50%, Heart of the Wild. So many cooldowns by Askraf, but he does hold on to the Barkskin for now, having to trade that out as well.
Yeah, and we do see a little bit of a kidney shot onto Zeepai. They may look to turn it around here, but their Druid is not safe yet. He's still in this Barkskin. He's just trying to break line of sight as much as he can. And the Ball Jugglers moving in, trying to close the gap. He's running around the corner here, but they're going to be able to catch line of sight soon. But he is back up at around 50% health, and he's had to expend so much mana at this point. And very quickly, we're going to see Ball Jugglers just move over to Nixie.
Yeah, Nixie does have his Cloak of Shadows available, but he's dropping so low. Askaraf is struggling so hard. This is the heart of the wild as well. He has 25% more healing right now, and he just cannot top off his team. Nice Cyclones coming out from Fnobbers to assure that Nixie stays low. A double Dragon's Breath coming off that. Nixie having to trade out that Cloak, but he is still low. Heart of the Wild expires. Askaraf caught into the full bash. This could potentially be it. Daisy Duke also dropping low. He's not playing the Ice Block, remember. I think he might have used the Evernest there. And he does land the CC because of it. Preemptive Ironbark from Fnobbers. So despite the fact that Ball Jugglers are playing so offensive, he still has the awareness to make that Ironbark play. And that's going to be enough for the Shamrage to come back for Zeepai if he needs it.
But now Zeepai, he's getting so low here. He does have to pop that Shamanistic Rage, just like you said. But this may be enough of an opportunity for the Ball Jugglers to turn around and just try to get that damage going again. And they're going to do just that. And it's on to Nixie. He's fallen below. And now he's actually going to try to get a little bit offensive.
It's a miracle they sheeped Askaraf. They're not doing damage to him for once. And now Nixie, because of that, is kind of caught out. But the Fire Mage doesn't do too much damage to the Rogue. Of course, that Feint reduces a lot of AoE damage. And I think a fair bit of the damage coming out from the Fire Mage is AoE. So one disadvantage of hitting Nixie. But Askaraf now the target of choice. Caught up in that bash into the Dragon's Breath. The Smoke Bomb defensively coming out. Maybe enough. A nice Ring of Frost from Lixie. I really like that. To set up the Shatter down to 1%. How are you alive, Askaraf? He's going to be at 20%. He manages to survive that one literally with a sliver of HP. Ironbark comes out late, but he is completely tapped. No Shamrage on the side of Zeepai for a little while, but unfortunately they cannot connect the CC onto Fnobbers. He gets the Ironbark. Should be enough for Zeepai to survive here.
Askaraf can break line of sight all he wants, but at this point he really doesn't have any mana.
Yep, he's just sitting down for a drink. That Shadow Meld into the drink, nicely protected by Daisy Duke. You can see how well he's playing. Lixie's going to go over, get the eye. Of course, that allows him to see stealthed units, of which Askaraf was one, but he is not anymore with that 70% mana. Dampening starting to kick in, so that is quite a big deal for ABC that they got that. Another Evernest coming out from Daisy Duke. He's not going to have another one of those for a long time because he just snapped for that one. Askaraf's going to have to keep him alive, but he does have the trinket to do so.
That was such a beautiful drink. I didn't realize that he actually managed to get that much out of it until he went back into his caster form. But Daisy Duke still not topped off. He's trying to cast as many polymorphs as he can here, try to stabilize for ABC, maybe get a setup going, and Daisy Duke is just going to fall down. Yep. His attempts are absolutely futile, and it's going to be one win for the Ball Jugglers, and ABC does have one to match it, but coming in, looks like Ball Jugglers may be able to, they're not going to fall for the same thing twice.
Look how much damage that Dragon's Breath's doing as well. Like, that ability is an AoE CC ability. We were comparing it to Shadow Fury. Imagine if Shadow Fury did 85k damage.
Oh yeah, if you could do 80, it'd be
that would be balanced.
Oh, it'd be so impressive. Yeah, and you really, you kind of can't see the.
And they're winning with it.
Yeah, and we're going to see they're knotted up 1-1 right now, but are they going to be able to take another game off of ABC playing such a tried and tested composition? Of course, bringing the RMD yet again, and we are going to see Lixie step 2 with that Fire Mage trying to take that win.
Yep, Lixie. This is the big map though, so it should be harder for them to reach Askaraf on this map, just because Lixie really needs to be in melee range to get that big damage off. The Dragon's Breath, of course, it's very short range, it's a conal effect. He can't just kind of place it somewhere like you can with other abilities like Pet Nova. So he needs to get into melee range of Askaraf if he's going to really pressure him. The question is, can he do that on such a big map?
Yeah, I mean, this is by far the biggest map, but look, so much pressure already coming on to Askaraf.
Yep, so Askaraf taking a fair bit of damage. He's actually getting locked on the regrowth, so he needs to be a little bit careful right now. Lixie gonna maybe try chase him after these Cyclones, but looks like he should be okay for now. The Shamanistic Rage traded out by Zeepai as well. He had to use his trinket in this exchange as well. So actually Zeepai doesn't have anything left. Fnobbers caught into the deep freeze. Zeepai needs to be careful casting out those healing surges. The DR bash. Fnobbers actually feels the need to trinket that. That is huge for ABC. They have forced so much with this opener.
Yeah, this is one of the times that ABC definitely is taking a commanding position. We saw this earlier on, and maybe they'll be able to convert this into the kill onto Zeepai. He doesn't have much to work with.
Yeah, they certainly certainly have the potential. Nixie, as you can see, he still has that killing spree. He has the Cloak of Shadows offensive should he want to use it. Daisy Duke can even block offensive for the go if he's playing it. I haven't seen if he's running the Evernest this particular game. Ascraft ironbarking himself, and yep, this is the offensive ice block. This is the kill for ABC if they can land it. And the cloak comes out. He cloaks the Dragon's Breath. Huge plays from Nixie. Can they follow up the CC onto Fnobbers? It doesn't look like it, unfortunately, but there's no ironbark available. There's no NS available. He does have the ironbark. ABC commit really hard to that play. Actually, the killing spree coming out now, I would have liked to seen that onto Zeepai maybe. Unfortunately, I guess he couldn't do it for whatever reason. And Zeepai does survive that go.
Yeah, and then right after that, they did turn around and they decided, hey, we're going to hit Leeksies. We're going to put as much pressure into him as we can, but they weren't able to pull that ice block off of him. But they do pull the Shamanistic Rage off of Zeepai.
Yep, so another Shamanistic Rage Force. This is going to lead to another kill opportunity, but ABC did use a lot of their damage. They used an offensive Ice Block. They used so much to try get him to that kill. So the question is, how much will they have left? Ascraft actually, I think it was Fnobbers that blinked into him to get that bash. So they're going to get a lot of damage onto Ascraft here. Wow, just chunking through that bark skin. We've seen that quite a lot today. A nice double Dragon's Breath from Nixie. He's trying to get the Ring of Frost off that. The Adrenaline Rush from Nixie. He's just trying to build up that red buff as quickly as possible for this next swap to Zeepai, but Fnobbers' Trinket's coming up so soon, and if he pre-iron barks this, it's just going to be so sad for ABC.
Yeah, and Leeksy just doing so much damage. It's absolutely insane to see what a Fire Mage really can do. And this comp is the shell that it's looking for. But now we're going to see Fnobri get very low, and he may die through this Iron Bark. They're not letting up.
Wow, that was so close, and actually he got the Ironbark off between the two stuns from Nixie. If Nixie had just timed those stuns a tiny little bit better, he wouldn't have got the Ironbark and he may well have died there. So Fnobber is getting out by the skin of his teeth. He's still not out of the woods. Oh, what a Ring of Frost from Daisy Duke. He lands that straight off of the Cyclone. If they can land the stuns off of this, they could maybe go back onto Fnobbers. He doesn't have that bark skin available. I'd love to see Nixie go for that, and that's what he's going to go for here. That's going to force the Trinket from Fnobbers. They blind up Zeepai. They're just going to tunnel him down here. He's down to 50%. He blinks away, bashes Nixie, who does not have a Trinket available, so he should be okay to survive here. He actually Cyclones Daisy Duke as well, who used another offensive ice block. And Fnobbers survives. Yeah,
Fnobbers just does manage to survive, and now the Ball Jugglers look like they may try to get a little bit aggressive here. We're seeing that damage come out yet again from Leeksy, managing to hit at least 2 people with that Dragon's Breath, which is always nice. But ABC gonna hit the kidney onto Zeepai, and they are effectively just pulling this Shamanistic Rage off of cooldown every time that Zeepai has it, and they're going to keep putting the pressure on and maybe even kill him in it.
Yeah, ABC are playing such a fast-paced game. The question is, can Ball Jugglers keep up? And so far, the answer has just about been yes. They're consistently swapping around between Zeepai, between Fnobbers. We've even seen a couple of goes onto Leeksy, and they're just forcing cooldown after cooldown. So actually, the bark skin coming out preemptively from Fnobbers. He was a little bit scared of the swap from Nixie there, as he did see the image onto him. This is going to be interesting because that image is onto Fnobbers. That means there should be a kidney coming out onto him momentarily. There is that DR kidney shot. Is that going to be the CC that kills Zeepai? It doesn't look like it. The NS and the Iron Bark answered by Fnobbers, but he used the bark skin there. He's not going to have that for the next 30 seconds. He does not have his Trinket either, but Nixie did commit a lot of his damage, so it should be quite hard for him to swap to Fnobbers successfully.
ABC needs to find a window where Shamanistic Rage and Iron Bark are down, and just the way that these cooldowns rotate, they haven't been able to find it. Every time that they get a good push, Zeepai either answers with Shamanistic Rage, which he has the potential to do right now, or we see the Druid just throw up the Iron Bark onto him, which is going to be up in another 30 seconds. How often can you be pushing in as ABC?
Yeah, I mean, like they kind of have to, because in these games, the longer it's gone on, the worse they've fared, to be honest. Ascraft does have really good mana in this game, so that might buck the trend just a little bit. I just really like how ABC are playing the game right now. They're playing such a fast-paced game. It makes it so much harder for Fnobbers to get those preemptive Iron Barks off on cooldown, and we'll see another setup here. Can Daisy Duke connect the Deep Freeze? It doesn't look like it just yet. He doesn't have it available actually for 10 seconds, so the kidney shot on Zeepai shouldn't be forcing too much. The blind to follow it up, but Fnobbers just going to sit through that one, should be okay.
They really don't pull much off out of that blind either. Fnobbers just not even breaking a sweat.
Yep, I mean, he's completely fine to sit through that one. They're actually going to swap it over to him. He has the bark skin available. I'm not sure if they're going to force too much other than that bark skin. They'll be happy with that cooldown, but if they'd got the Trinket from Fnobbers as well, that would have just been so gravy for ABC. But they weren't able to do that. Fnobbers still has his Trinket, Zeepai still has his Trinket and his Shine Rage. There's a lot of defensive answers and options for Ball Jugglers. And at the same time, ABC, they've used one offensive block on Daisy Duke. He has his Cold Snap available, but he's trying to hold on to it because he wants that cooldown to reset on the Ice Block.
Yeah, ball jugglers, they're definitely doing a good job here. I'm pretty impressed. But like you said, as we move deeper and deeper into dampening, they're just going to keep looking better and better.
Yep, they certainly will. And we see Iron Bucks coming out onto Leaksy and onto Asgrave. I'm not sure how much I value that Iron Buck onto Leaksy since he has 2 blocks, and we'll see if he gets punished for it instantly. The Adrenaline Rush double kidney coming out onto Fnobus. He has his trinket available, but he's not using it. He doesn't have Bark Skin. He thinks the Bear Form is enough. Is he correct? Is the question. It looks like he might be. That was very greedy and slightly unfortunate for ABC because they committed every single offensive on their rogue to this swap. They do not get the trinket on Fnobbers. As a consolation prize, though, they do force that Shamanistic Rage. Maybe they actually get the trinket with that Cyclone. Into the bash, they're trying to get the kill onto Zeepai here. There's not too much damage available for ABC. We see the offensive Barkskin coming out from Asgraf just for that Aura Mastery. He's going to get the Cyclone onto Zeepai. Can they follow up the CC onto Fnobbers? Do they have any stuns available? The Deep Freeze is up. Are they going to choose to commit it here?
Yeah, I definitely think they should be looking for who they can hit with this Deep Freeze because Zeepai was so low, and they just need to follow up with a little bit more damage to push him over the edge.
It's such a difficult call there because Daisy Duke could have deeped and committed both his blocks. He could have snapped and then blocked to make sure that he got the CC when Zeepai was low, but that's committing 5 minutes worth of work on that first ice block, which you've been trying to build up off cooldown. At the same time, the full blind onto Fnobbers right now. Zeepai in a lot of trouble. His NG proxies, Shamanistic Rage does come up. The sap to follow up. He could just go straight through this Sham Rage. 10% HP. He's just going to fall here. ABC have done it. They win the game on Tolveron Arena. Their map choice. They go 2-1 up in the final series of Cup 2.
Yeah, and maybe that restraint that Daisy Duke did show was enough to kind of push him over the edge there. Find the actual opening, not try to force it, wait for the right moment to get that kill, and now we're going to see ABC up 2-1.
Yep, 1 game away from winning the grand final, and Ball Jugglers were 3-1 victors in the first series. They looked quite strong coming into this one, 1-1, but ABC were a hard-fought game, and the big difference for me was the fact that Ascraft wasn't even close to dying. His mana was very good. They had a lot of pressure. I really, really liked the way that Daisy Duke and Nixie played this one because they were just constantly swapping between Fnobbers, Zeepai. It just made it so hard for Fnobbers to keep up. And of course, if Zeepai is therefore having to do a lot of healing, you can see he did 1.4 million in that game. It's just something he always has to think about. And you can see it's hurt his damage. He's barely out-damaged Leaksy, barely out-damaged Daisy Duke. And that was really the story of this game. It's just that Ball Jugglers were under so much pressure, they couldn't afford to get those offensive goes onto Asgraf. This was one of those situations where Fnobbers was solo. He should have died here, possibly, if the Iron Buck hadn't been allowed through. He lived on so low HP, the Killing Spree cloak, so many offensive cooldowns committed by ABC. And this was one of those situations where it potentially looked like ABC have a perfect setup now. This was perfect. I love this freeze here because they get the Cyclone onto Fnobbers, and Daisy Duke perfectly timed the Rob straight out of it so that he was still low. Then they swapped to Zeepai. They got the Sham Rage on him. They just did such a good job of playing the pressure game. It was really nice to watch.
Yeah, it was really nice to watch. And the thing that got switched up by ABC, like you said, it's more pressure. They're putting so much pressure onto Ball Jugglers. And we kind of talked about the fact that, hey, no one...
G Blue take out the Yacht Boys. And they did kind of have an answer because they won the game, but they didn't win it in a way that I think they will be able to repeat. We are going to find out our answer now. Nazarins has returned for potentially the final game of today, which has been going on for quite a while. Nazarins, he's nice and fresh. He's come off the bench. He's done his jog.
I love this switch. I love this switch. I love this composition against RMD. I favor it so much. Let's see if they try to play for dampening, or let's see if they can just blow him up nice and early. Nazarin immediately trying to cast that Chaos Bolt, and it's going to get denied by ABC, which is exactly what they need to do. But then, out of nowhere, Daisy Duke eats one.
Yeah, that Chaos Bolt almost killed Daisy Duke instantly. I'm waiting to see if he is running that Evanesce this game. I don't think he will be. I don't think he was in the first game, so I would be surprised if he is now. We'll see what the target choice is. It looks like Nazarin's, and he's taking so much damage. That shield will coming out quite late, to be honest. The sap to follow up the blind onto Fnobbers. Can they get any more CC? Looks like Nazarin's actually going offensive with this Dark Soul here. ABC just going to LOS this. The Iron Buck coming out from Fnobbers should be enough to stabilize him for now.
They really want to prioritize this Warlock here, and I love it. They want to try to shut down the pressure that he's putting out, and they're doing a great job at doing it. An offensive clone coming out onto him here.
Yeah, but there's a slight miss some communication on the side of ABC there. Actually, Nixie committing the killing spree into that Cyclone. So the Cyclone, I agree, was very good, but I don't think Nixie should have used the killing spree if he'd saved it till now. When the smoke bomb came out, that could have potentially been huge for ABC. Nazarian's therefore able to hold onto his trinket due to the kind of waste of that. Nice Cyclone coming out from Fnobbers. Now they're trying to set up the Chaos Bolt, and nice Deep Freeze coming out just in time. DR Deep Freeze from Daisy Duke to save Nixie, who did actually trinket that anyways, so maybe a little miscommunication again on the side of ABC. They only need to win one more game, but they're going to have to play it really, really well, and they're making mistakes right now.
Yeah, we've seen 2 indications of communication breakdown, and you do not have... It's amazing that they managed to survive 2 of them, because this Warlock's such a punishing class to be playing against.
Yeah, I completely agree, but if they keep making these mistakes, especially the offensive ones such as the killing spree into the Cyclone, then they will not finish this game, and that means the Ball Jugglers will. Zeepai, however, taking a lot of damage, casting some heals on himself, gets corroded up right now. That was the NS and the Iron Bout coming out from Fnobbers, actually. So a lot of cooldowns committed from Ball Jugglers to survive this go, and the preemptive Ice Block coming out from Daisy Duke. He sits that one full just to make sure. But Nixie's in trouble, caught in the Shadow Fury. Iron Bout comes out in time, faint as well. He should be fine. It looked like he was going to take more damage there than he did. Scary situation for ABC.
Yeah, Chaos Bolt just hitting that ice block there. But once again, we are going to see ABC going with the kidney onto Nazarian, and then he actually does get caught into a Cyclone.
Yep, so they're trying to set up right now, but they can't really land the CC onto Fnobbers. There's no Deep Freeze available for 8 seconds. Daisy Duke, he's going to have to wait a little bit on that one. They do have the kidney shot available, so I'm expecting to see them try and get onto Zeepai, but unfortunately his Shamanistic Rage has had time to recharge coming off cooldown. Will be completely ready. Ball Jugglers, 3 trinkets, Shamanistic Rage, etc. Pretty much the entire deck of cooldowns completely ready, whereas ABC, they don't have a trinket on Nixie, although it's coming up soon. Ascraft doesn't have his for a long time either, and Daisy Duke has used his Cold Snap. So
I really do like the fact that Daisy Duke is just using the freezes over and over again to get rid of these Chaos Bolts from Nazarian.
Yeah, Daisy Duke's doing a really good job of making sure his team doesn't take damage from these, and he's even, like you say, he's using the Deep Freezes on Nazarians just to make sure that in those desperation situations where there's no other way of stopping it, they do not land it. But a beautiful capstone onto Nixie. The feint's going to fall off in this one. He does get the cloak off, but Ascraft is in exactly execute range. NS's himself to come out of it. The Cyclone coming out from Fnobbers offensively. Can they line up any damage off that one? Looks like Nazarian's unable to do so, but Daisy Duke forced into that second ice block. He's not going to have another one of those available for 1 minute. Ascraft still no trinket. Nazarian's needs to push in. He could definitely finish this game. Cyclone onto Nixie. Do they have the bash to follow it up? I'm not entirely sure. It looks like they do from the way Fnobbers is playing it. He's going for the Cyclone on Ascraft. Nixie does not have that Cloak of Shadows, but it looks like he's going to be able to LOS Nazarians and survive for now.
But one of the things, Daisy Duke, if you don't think he is the MVP of this tournament so far, by the end of this game, I have no doubt that you will. Managing to keep his team alive there with beautifully timed CC, that is the only reason that Chaos Bolts did not kill anyone there. And once again, we are going to see Nazarian try to actually cast a Chaos Bolt while he has Dark Soul up, but a Gouge is going to stop it this time.
Yep, so nicely played by Nixie, just shutting down, but he's taking a lot of damage. Anyways, he's into XQ range for a split second. Nazarian's unable to connect it though. The Cloak of Shadow is up in 25 seconds, so Nixie will have that cooldown soon. There's 3 trinkets on ABC, so they shouldn't really be dying. Actually, the swap now over onto Fnobbers. Can they get the kidney shot? He doesn't have trinket available. There is that kidney, and unfortunately, like, no. Oh, actually, Daisy Duke might just die here. Doesn't have his block for 20 seconds, and what should have been a great offensive push for ABC, punishing the no trinket on Fnobbers, has turned into a disaster with Daisy Duke barely able to survive.
Yeah, he was just hanging above execute range. I was looking so closely. He was at 21%, then he got to 22%, and then right after that, we do see Ascraft getting out of the CC, able to put the Iron Bark up, but still unrelenting pressure from both of these squads. I do like how ABC is playing it, but there's something about this Destruction Warlock that just performs so well against the RMD, and we saw a good deal of it earlier in the day, and as we move deeper and deeper into dampening, we know that they love to live in that 30-40% dampening.
Yeah, they do, and they might not even need that, to be honest. Ascraft is already low on mana. He gets caught up in the Cyclone during his Bark Skin. Zeepai taking a little bit of damage, but at the same time, Daisy Duke, he does have a block available, having to trade that out. He's not going to have another block for almost 3 minutes now. That is a huge deal for ABC. Ascraft also taking a lot of damage. He doesn't have any defensive cooldowns. The lava bursts coming out. They're just trying to get him into execute range. It was so close once again. He's got such a difficult task to top off Daisy Duke, top off himself. He uses the bash onto Nazarins just to make sure no damage is coming out for a little while, but it's just delay strategies, honestly, from ABC. Fnobbers just blinks into the room, chasing him down. There's no way he's getting a drink. He actually lands the Cyclone as well. Very well played by Fnobbers, and that's something that we've also seen today, just always pushing in, getting those CCs, and not ever letting the enemy healer drink.
Yeah, and now Nixie taking quite a bit of damage. He's going to have to blow his cloak, and he's going to have to blow the smoke bomb. But he's not using the smoke bomb purely defensively. He's trying to bring Nazarins down here and now. But there isn't any follow-up from the rest of his team. Nixie was kind of caught out by himself.
Yeah, so they did force the trinket on Fnobbers. He had his NS up for a while, but I think he did connect onto Nazarins. The question is, does he have enough healing here? Because there is the Iron Bark. If he can't keep him up with that, then he's going to struggle a hell of a lot more when it runs out. He doesn't have his NS available either. There's no real defensives for Fnobbers. They still have that shield wall on Nazarins for the next setup. That's going to be their answer probably. But at the same time, Daisy Duke, he's in execute range. Are they going to land the Shadow Burn? It's unfortunately kidneyed onto Nazarins, so he's not going to be able to do that right now. That's the only reason Daisy Duke's able to survive. I can't believe Ascraft's just sustaining this 20% mana. He's had that for like 3 minutes now. Still keeping his team completely fine, but Daisy Duke gets locked out on the polymorph. He has to kite away. He's in so much trouble. Ascraft now down to 0 mana. He gets bashed instantly on the Tranquility. He uses his trinket, but what can he do with it? Do they have any follow-up? This kidney shot onto Nazarins. He's actually sailing through that one. I would have liked to maybe see him trinket offensively, choosing to hold on to that one. He knows how close he is to winning this. Ascraft has nothing. Daisy Duke 50% HP. It's going to be so difficult for them to recover.
Yeah, Daisy Duke would need to find a position where he can just stay alive for 30 seconds and then maybe get the ice block. But even into that, Ascraft has nothing to heal him up. Ascraft needs to disengage, needs to get that drink, and the Ball Jugglers are not going to allow him to do that. They're going to keep putting the damage both into Nixie and into Daisy Duke, whoever is the easier target for them, and they are getting very, very effective damage onto the table.
Yeah, this may be the last win condition for ABC though. Fnobbers doesn't have his trinket for 15 seconds. If they can chain these Cyclones, maybe they can take down Nazarins, but he's just spamming out those Ember Tabs. We see 3 Ember Tabs even into Dampening. That's going to do quite a lot. The Dark Soul now coming out. He doesn't really have any Embers to do much damage, so we can't expect too much to come out here, as we do see Fnobbers pushing in for the bash. Is he going to follow up with the Cyclone? Looks like he will. Daisy Duke still in a bit of trouble. He does have the Cold Snap available. Nazarin's also dropping quite low here though. NS comes out from Fnobbers. It doesn't really do anything. He trinkets the blind. He does have that Iron Bar coming up in 10 seconds, but can they kill before it? They do have Deep Freeze, or they don't have Deep Freeze on Daisy Duke, so it's going to be really difficult for them to land CC onto Fnobbers, as Nazarin's just going to pull back and get topped off.
Yeah, Nazarin is able to stay alive there, and we talked about this a little bit earlier. Nazarin has a kill opportunity at any time that he can get off a Chaos Bolt, and when we move into 24% dampening, that is just so much more lethal, and they're going to try to shut him down before he gets there, putting damage into him, even through this Iron Bark. And now Ascraft is still in the same position he was in before. He's at now he's at 9% mana. He does manage to regain a little bit, but it might not be enough.
But ABC are doing such a great job of just consistently training Nazarins. Other teams or other RMDs we saw earlier when they played against this composition, they would always back off and run behind pillars, and then Nazarins would just run at them. But Nazarins is always the one on the retreat right now. He's in a lot of trouble once again. This is the double kidney coming out from Nixie. This could potentially be the game. There's NS available for Fnobbers, but it doesn't do anything with 30% dampening. That Dark Soul is going to expire any CC onto Fnobbers. He does not have Trinket, neither does Zeepai. They could win this game so easily, but at the same time, Daisy Duke is forced into that Ice Block. A beautiful Cyclone coming out. He will not want to unbound that and drop 20% more HP. They land the Ring of Frost. This is going to be game. This is going to be series. If they can connect to Nazarins, he pots away. The Vanished Sap coming out, overlaps slightly with that Cyclone. He steps and Nazarins gates away. He's trying to get away into the room, but I think they might have Smoke Bomb available here. There is the Smoke Bomb, 10%. He's going to fall, surely. Iron Bark comes out. He lives. I don't know how he's doing it, but Nazarins is alive.
He popped everything there. We did see the wall. We saw the Iron Bark get blown onto him, and he was hiding in the room. And Nazareth may be able to turn this around right now. If they can connect onto him, he's still very low. And we do see his healer is stuck in the polymorph. There's the kidney. This may be the window that ABC needs to win the grand finals. And they find it.
Zifo just left the game. He was like, nope, I don't want to see this. We've spent so much time, but you're champions. After all of this, we saw them last week get so close to qualifying. Chaz living on a sliver of health. The only thing stopping ABC last week, and now they find the answer to the Destro. They find the answer to the Fire Mage. ABC are your well-deserving champions. The third place seed going in, $3,000, so many great things. I'm so happy for these guys. They have just played phenomenally today.
Yeah, definitely want to congratulate them. A spectacular feat, being able to figure out something so hard to solve on the fly, but also a huge shout out to Ball Jugglers. They managed to shake up the meta enough to beat some of the best RMDs in the world. They actually did beat all of the RMDs in this. They had to reset the series, and then the second time around, ABC figured out a way to actually counter this incredible comp. So we're going to take a peek at this upper bracket right now and actually see how they got here.
Yeah, ABC, they were just unstoppable today. They were pretty unstoppable last week, to be honest. I mean, they almost qualified. Method with their amazing shadow play barely knocked them out. But this week, that three-man roster, they went 3-0 against IK. That was Incarnation Kitty. We saw them. They were out from ABC.